Welcome to From the Resort podcast. Today is the 3rd of December 2020 and it's episode number 6. And today we're out at Veolia, which is sort of, in the industrial area of Queenstown, which is just near an area out of Frankton, 5 Mile. As a Rotary Club, we actually came out this way a couple of days ago, and our guest today basically gave us a bit of a tour of what Veolia actually does. But I'd like to introduce him. It's Jason Climo, from Veolia, and welcome along to the podcast, Jason.
Thank you.
Where I like to sort of start these podcasts, Jason, is just a bit about your early life, where you sort of brought up and where you came from. So whereabouts were you born?
Okay, so I was born in a little town called Tamaranui. So Tamaranui is probably on the western side of Mount Ruapehu, 20 minutes from Mount Ruapehu in the central North Island.
Yep.
So born and raised in Tamaranui. Went to all my schooling was in Tamaranui.
And brothers and sisters, did you have any?
Yeah, I've got an older brother. So my older brother Glenn's and he lives in Michigan now in the US. And a younger brother as well, and he lives in Ashburton in the South Island here. So
you're the middle of three,
I'm the middle child.
Yeah, I'm part of 3 boys as well, but I'm the eldest, but the middle child was always the troublemaker, I think. I'm not sure if that was what you growing up, but...
potentially.
So the central part of the North Island, what was it like growing up there, and what did you sort of get up to as a child? Can you remember some of the things you got into?
Probably from an early age, like growing up in a country town, you're always sort of... like nature's on your doorstep, we're fishing, we're camping. My dad was a keen hunter, so we'd spend a lot of time up in the forest and the bush. From an early age, I was probably quite into building or engineering, I guess. So I used to sort of read a lot of books around, bridges and engineering books and stuff. And and myself and a few of my mates would always be out sort of building tree huts or doing stuff around the district. Not too much trouble, but yeah.
So pretty
great spot.
So some good early skills there, I guess, in building and engineering and working out those sort of things. This is sort of even sort of pre-teen days. Or?
Pre-teens, yeah.
Okay, it's quite interesting.
And that actually, my son is also he took the same thing from about 3 years old, to be honest. He's been involved with electrical and playing with heaters and all sorts of stuff from early age, and now he's just finished high school and he's off. I think he wants to do a mechatronics engineering degree, so he's sort of taken the path early as well.
Yeah, very good skills to have. I think even in 2020, I think having those types of skills are very important. And there's a lot of different careers you can sort of take out of having, I guess, an interest in building, engineering, electrical, all the different components of construction. So that's quite interesting. Growing up, can you remember what was the first sort of sport that you played?
Oh, okay, yep. So I obviously played a bit of rugby because that's the Kiwi thing to do. And our neighbours at the time were into, they had a lot of horses and stuff, so they were into a sport called polo cross. So polo cross is a bit like lacrosse, except it's using the net and the racket on the horse. And I'd watch it a little bit, and I actually got quite keen, so they taught me how to ride a horse to a start, and then they actually got me into the game. And I played that game from about 8 years old. Through to representing New Zealand in 1997 to 2001, playing for NZ, so representing New Zealand in the sport as well. So it was great.
Playing against other international countries.
Yeah. So we would play. I was in the intermediate New Zealand intermediate teams because I was under 21, and we played mainly Australia. I went over to Africa in 1997. And through to Zimbabwe as well, so I spent 7 or 8 weeks in Africa as well.
So polo cross, how many players do they have on a team? Like, how does that work?
You have 3. There's 3 quadrants.
Yep.
And there's 3 aside. Well, there's 6 aside, but 3 on, 3 off.
Yep.
So you would go out there. It's quite intense. So you could only probably play a maximum of 8 minutes. It's quite hard on the animals to go any longer than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the number 1 shoots the goals, the number 2 defends the middle area, and the number 3 defends the goal against the opposite.
So it's 3 a team, or?
Yeah, three a side, yeah.
Okay. So then you just have 8 minutes and you sort of have 8-minute halves? Or?
8-minute halves, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you might do 4 8s or something like that, yeah.
Okay.
She's pretty full on.
Yeah, if you have to do 4 lots of that, you'd be buggered after that.
Yeah.
Hope they have substitutes.
Yeah.
Or at least.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's an interesting. I have to look that one up.
Yeah.
So that's good. And rugby, obviously, did you sort of do much of that? I guess
I sort of probably got more involved into the polo cross. I played rugby for a little bit, and then probably got more involved with that sport. That was sort of taking me more places. But yeah.
So can you remember what was your first job as a teenager? Can you remember what you?
Yeah, because I was still involved with horses and that. I actually went through to 7th form in high school. Sort of didn't really know what I wanted to do, and one of the guys that I actually played the sport with owned a big sheep farm. So I actually went and lived on the sheep farm for 12 months, doing mustering and learning shearing and mustering.
So how old were you when you were doing that?
I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, after 7th form. So.
Okay, so you went out on a sheep farm for 12 months. How did you find that experience overall?
I loved it. Yeah, absolutely loved being out on the farms and stuff. But just I guess it's a lifestyle. I guess so. I was probably more interested in getting paid a bit more. So I ended up leaving that job, and I actually managed to get a job with what used to be the Ministry of Works for New Zealand, but it was sold. It was a private company by then called Works Civil Construction. And I sort of started this career under the Work Civil Construction banner to learn the industry that we're in now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess how old were you when you sort of moved away from your original? I guess where you grew up. Where was the next sort of destination after that?
When I started with the Works, I sort of I didn't move far from the Central Plateau, and then through my whole career, I've been fairly well based in the central North Island, around the place. I might have moved to the Thames Coromandel a bit or whatever, but it wasn't until 2010 that I moved down to Queenstown. So it was my first big move away from the North Island, permanent move.
Okay, and so 10 years ago you made the big move down to Queenstown.
Yep.
Before you sort of came down to Queenstown, was it a place you'd come down to often for holidays? And
not at all. I came here in 2007 to tender for the Queenstown Lakes District Council Water Services contract.
Okay.
And I was on part of the bid team to do that. We won the contract, and then I moved back to that. I went back to North Island after we transitioned this contract. And within 3 years, the original manager had decided that he wanted to relocate back to Adelaide. We had contracts in Adelaide at the time, and I put my name forward to come and take over. So yeah, I obviously liked it when I came down for 6 months.
So you hadn't sort of been down here too much before making the move?
Never, yeah.
Okay, or never. Okay.
Never, yeah.
So that's very spontaneous sort of thing, I guess.
Yep.
So Queenstown, 10 years ago, it's obviously changed a lot in the decade that you've been in Queenstown.
Yeah.
What are the things that you really like about this particular area of Queenstown? We'll talk a bit about Queenstown and how it's grown and what you enjoy out of it. Yep. So tell us the things that you sort of enjoy being part of this community.
I guess coming from the central North Island where we had similar trails and rivers and stuff, we're sort of moving into a similar sort of mountainous area. Yeah, love the mountains, love to get out there on a mountain bike, love to take the kids out to the rivers or a bit of beach, down to the Frankton beach or into town, go out on a boat, do a bit of fishing. But yeah, sort of really liked and we were quite heavily involved in our area with community as well, and just like to try and push a bit more into community around the Queenstown area. So I really enjoy getting out there and helping with, with the Rotary, for example, projects and Rotary projects that we do as Veolia into the community as well, that we probably don't talk so much about, but we do a lot of stuff out in the community as well, more of a silent provider.
Yeah, I guess when was your first exposure to Rotary generally? Was it before you moved to Queenstown, or were you actually...
Yeah, so my wife's grandparents were Rotarians, and my wife's auntie is actually the president of the Rotary Club in the Ruape area, and her auntie's the secretary, so we knew of Rotary, but it wasn't until probably the start of 2020 we were introduced to the Queenstown Club. And
it's only really the start of this calendar year.
Yeah, that we've really become more involved, and I was always wanting to do, like, we do volunteer stuff with the mountain bike clubs and stuff, but that's a little bit ad hoc. I was really wanting to get involved with, with an organisation that sort of has similar values to myself and my wife, really. So it's around giving and helping the community and stuff. So that's what we're loving to do. So yeah, I'm loving it so far.
So you've probably been a member for about 12 months.
Coming up 12 months,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. But obviously the people in the club I found to be, they're all really, really friendly. They're all there for each other. It just seems to be, they always seem to be there as one unit. And I've sort of only been involved really in the last few months, but that's the sort of feeling I get, and I can see why people want to join a Rotary Club once they get introduced to it, and all the friends that you can make, all the contacts that you can make, it's fantastic. So, but I guess you sort of you're jumping pretty much in the deep end by becoming the president elect. Only 6 months or so after you sort of joining the club, you're putting your hand up to be the president for the 2021-2022 Rotary year. So tell me a bit about that decision, and what sort of motivated you to want to be the president of the club at I guess not having a lot of experience in Rotary.
Yeah, I guess I sort of jumped in. I don't try and jump a bit some more, but I jumped in because I'm really engaged by the club, I guess, and I could sort of see that there's a lot of sort of avenues that we could take the club, and I think just having maybe some fresh ideas coming in will definitely help. I did actually the president-elect training in Cromwell a few weeks ago, and I was quite amazed that I was sort of 8 months into the role, and people had been involved in the club for the last 20 or 30 years, and they were still learning things they had no idea. So maybe it's just coming in with a fresh set of ideas and stuff, and might be able to do some cool projects around the community.
No, it sounds like you got that community mindset. I think you have to have that in order to really be involved in service organisations, community organisations like Rotary. So it's certainly great that you found Rotary, and obviously I can see that it's going to be an interesting time, I guess, when your presidency, especially with a club. I mean, when you sort of got a club the size of what Queenstown has, you've got more than 50 members to deal with. Committees to basically organise different leaders for, and make sure. Delegation is one of those skills that you've really got to make sure you've got sort of down pat. I guess on the podcast, hopefully soon, we'll probably have current President Leanne Lyons will be on the podcast over the next week or two, so I look forward to that as well. But I guess, what have you learnt in the 12 months that you've sort of been in Rotary? What are the key things that you sort of learned about Rotary that you, I guess, you sort of didn't know so much at the start?
I was amazed to learn, I guess, the sheer size of Rotary. I mean, 1.2 million members, I think it was, and just all of the Rotary Foundation as a whole. It's something that probably isn't well communicated out there. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people think it's sort of more of a exclusive club for retired people, and that sort of was the mindset that we need to change out there. But yeah, myself coming in, my wife coming in, we're just amazed on the sheer size, the giving, just the polio eradication program is just amazing. Like 90 million vaccines, I think, were administered last year through the Rotary. So.
I think, the format of what Rotary Queenstown does is quite good. I like, you've got the off-site meeting, I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
It was really great to sort of be here a couple of days ago and you sort of open up Veolia. A lot of the people, many of them that came, would have learnt, a lot about recycling, how that works and what the programs that Veolia does, how the water thing situation works in this area. The technologies that we use with pipes, quite a lot, that's just a little bit of what you had to digest. So it definitely was different. It was quite interesting, and you did a very good job putting it all together. And obviously a bit of work just getting it organised and making sure that people were sort of available to be able to do this and to be able to show people around. So thank you for that. But so that was really, really good, Jason. That's for sure. So I guess it's only been 12 months apart from Tuesday. What has been the event or thing that you've sort of been to in the last 12 months that stood out to you the most in Rotary?
In Rotary, so the first, I think, kicking off summer 2020 would have been the Ryla event that was held at the Lakeview Christian Camp. So having the Rotary Youth Exchange, and that was actually run by Leanne. That really stood out. That was amazing. To have all those people on that on the young leadership course. And then obviously building off from that was the project we've just completed with the bouldering wall that we've done for the camp. That was a great community project, and it's awesome to see something that's standing like it is above the ground, and it's going to be there for a long time.
It's sort of like a little rock climbing type boulder thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have to have a bit of a look at that one. It sort of was in progress as I sort of we came over here. So obviously things like that are projects like that are very sort of meaningful for the community and that sort of thing. So I guess as far as I don't know if you want to share any ideas as to any sort of new ideas that you may sort of take on when you do become the president, and things that we might sort of get involved in as Rotary. Anything much different to what we're doing?
I think what I've seen this year with Leanne's leadership, we've got the off-site meetings once a month, which I definitely would love to carry that on. I think that's absolutely brilliant, and I think we certainly get really, really good attendance rates at the off-sites.
It certainly did on Tuesday. And the one at Cardrona.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think projects, there's quite a few things, I guess, that are always buzzing around your mind, but one thing it's not just a bias to having a water background, but there's things around some of our smaller lakes and rivers could do with a bit of love. So it'd be nice to be able to get involved with some riparian type planting or some wetland maintenance, those sorts of community projects to help with the health of the lake, or help people bathing in Lake Hayes, for example. There's things around that we probably still haven't felt the complete impact of the whole COVID situation in Queenstown going forward into sort of maybe early next year. We might start seeing some issues with when the bank the mortgage holidays and things come to an end. There could be some people struggling a bit. So one of the things I thought was quite cool, and it was done in another Rotary Club, was they were doing basically a supermarket event where they would have shopping trolleys outside the market, and they would just ask people if they were able to drop a couple of cans of food in the basket on their way past. I think they managed to secure 1.6 tonne of non-perishable goods in that went to the food banks or through the salvos. Those sorts of things are quite neat for the community.
Yeah, no, definitely. Also, just one thing that I sort of a lot of involvement in my days in Apex is running charity golf days, and that might be something I'll talk to you about at some stage, whether or not. I know the club has a history of doing the New Zealand Open as I guess as an assistance type situation, marshalling or whatever they do to raise money. Obviously, the Rotary Club get involved. So, that not being on in February, March next year, I think there's a possibility of it that we've got the capability in our club to be able to run a very successful charity golf day. And my experience is doing about 9 or 10 of them back home.
That'd be perfect.
I know the sort of formats that work, so something I can certainly talk to you about if you're interested. And it's a good way to sort of raise some funds. It's just a matter of you've got half a dozen golfers in the club. You've got a big enough club to be able to support the event when it comes to doing something. And it's just a matter of getting people know people and getting a good number as you hope to get and whatnot. So that's something to think about and just win and that sort of thing as well. But if things like you don't know what's going to happen with these borders, you don't know if they're going to be open, closed, and it looks like you can't sort of rely on it at the moment.
That's right.
So, what about? Do you like the snow? Do you go up there and snowboard or ski?
Not so much, to be honest. My kids obviously were born and raised in Mount Ruapehu, so two of the biggest ski fields in NZ. So they started skiing from pre-primary school, and then they went through the schools skiing, and then we moved to Queenstown, so they've spent their life through the schools skiing. Yeah. My wife and I, to be honest, have never skied in our lives.
Do they still ski here, the kids?
Our kids, my son, he buys his own ski pass now, and he's up there every chance he can get during winter. So he absolutely loves skiing, and my daughter's pretty much the same. Myself and my wife sort of wait till the snow's melted so we can get out up there with our mountain bikes. It's probably more our scene is around the outdoors and the biking and stuff.
It's pretty. I'll see a lot of the younger ones sort of use their bikes to get up the top of these different mountains and they go down and all these different. I mean, that's pretty fun. All the
the downhill stuff's pretty neat, definitely.
It's beautifully. I guess the snow. I don't know if you noticed, there's a bit of snow still there today.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming in to say, where did that snow come from? It must have been overnight or something. But
it has snowed here on Christmas Day.
Has it?
Yeah, I've been here on Christmas Day.
On
the peaks. Yeah.
On the peaks. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool, isn't it? That is very good. So, any other sort of hobbies that you have? I know you probably don't get much time to do much else, but is there anything else that you get up to currently?
I'm probably, if I'm not on my bike, if I'm not at work, then I'm probably spending the remainder of the time either with family or I'm at the gym. So I spend a lot of the time at the local gym, just keeping fit. Yeah. I find that if I can do 3 or 4 times a week at the gym or get on my bike, it sort of puts me in the right mindset, I guess, to be looking after the people at Veolia.
So when did you start working at Veolia exactly? Just going back in.
So I've been at Veolia for 21 years.
21 years. Yeah. You've been working here for 10, obviously.
Yeah.
In Queenstown.
Yeah. So in the North Island, I started. I left the works construction once I'd done my cadetship and training in water treatment and wastewater treatment, and then I moved to across to Veolia, and I sort of moved up through the ranks quite quickly and became the manager of the Ruapehu region, and then I was then sort of done with other regions as well. So I also managed the Waitomo region, and then I moved into a contract just south of Auckland where I managed that for a while, and then I became a member of the New Zealand leadership team. So there's 6 of us for New Zealand on the leadership team. I'm definitely I'd be the youngest person on the leadership team currently. and then moved to the South Island just to be the manager of the Queenstown contract. It was coming up for a tender again as well, so they wanted me to rebid.
So was it the same location the last 10 years, or was it somewhere else when you first came in?
Nah, same location, just differing roles. So originally just the Queenstown manager, and then I managed the Invercargill branch for a while, and then maybe 5 years ago become the South Island manager. So
this industrial area would have been a lot more vacant 10 years ago. There weren't as many buildings around. Yep. It would have been pretty quiet, or quietish.
Yeah, there was pretty much nothing between Blender Drive and the BP roundabout at the State Highway 6. All the land in between was vacant land, and it was just a one lane road each way. So now we've got dual lanes, and we've got the 5 mile, we've got Queenstown Central, Mitre 10s, back and saves. None of that was there. Yeah, actually the road wasn't there either. So 10 years ago. So.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Yeah, lot's changed in 10 years. I mean, what do you see happening around this area in the next 10 years? Do you see just more expansion, more growth, more houses going in? Quite a lot of growth.
Definitely, probably see a lot more growth on the Hanley's Farm, Jacks Point areas. Definitely. I mean, there's a load of room out there for expansion, and judging on the pipe diameters that were installed to get out that way, you would think, geez, that was a bit of an overkill to put something in that big, but then in hindsight you can sort of see why, because that's definitely going to be a big growth area, and there's some pretty big infrastructure being put out there to get ready for it. Yeah, same on the Lake Hayes, shot over Ladies Mile side of the area. I think there'd be a lot of public protest if that was tried to be expanded anymore, just due to the traffic. I mean, the roads just wouldn't cope with that. But the Jacks Point Hanleys, plus the new bridge across the Carrail River. I mean, it flows quite nicely.
So with the, just trying to think, I had something that I had right here. What was it? Something about your work. Something to do with here. So Veolia. How many people you got working at this particular?
So our head count for this area is 60. That's ranging from obviously the administration staff. There's 3 other managers that I have that look after different parts of the operation. We do everything from the administration. We have our own engineering teams downstairs. We've got our own electrical engineer and computer engineering downstairs as well. And we have an operational team. So our operational teams do all of the Queenstown water treatment. We do all of the conveyance of the networks and delivering water through the network systems. We do all of the repairs. We've got teams that then undertake asset investigations, so looking at pipe conditions. We have teams that are then renewing assets across the district, and we have teams that are obviously making sure that those teams are safe as well. So we have traffic management, because Queenstown's traffic is a bit of an issue. We have sort of a traffic department as well that's helping keep the guys safe out there, guys and girls. So. And more recent times we've invested heavily into the trenchless technologies around, which you would have seen the other night, was the spiral wind pipe systems, because it's just getting really, really tough to open up a road nowadays because of the congestion. So we're trying to do a lot of our stuff without trenching, which is going really well actually.
Yeah. Okay. As far as where your career is taken, a couple of points here. So, is there anybody or anything that sort of stands out to you as far as someone who's been a mentor that's helped you in your career, or something that's influenced the direction that you've taken?
Yep, I think early on, probably start of my career would have obviously been my dad. My dad was a construction person as well. So he spent his whole life in various construction roles and everything else. and he worked for the works civil construction as well, where I was, and I guess he sort of mentored me in the direction that I took around the environmental services side of the business, and he could see that it was going to be a massive thing in the future, and he sort of convinced me to go that way, and convinced me probably to take up a role at Veolia, to be fair.
Okay.
And I also had a few other older heads within the same company that also sort of were mentoring me along the way, and through the cadetships and everything else that they wanted me to do, which was, I guess, I'd be pretty appreciative of that nowadays. And then obviously through my earlier days at Veolia, I had some pretty top general managers that were really leading the way and taking me on the right direction.
So I guess your career going forward, where do you sort of see your career going now that you've been in this leadership position on this leadership team?
Yep.
I guess is there anything that you can see on the horizon, or do you sort of is there sort of the career will continue to probably go through Veolia and just sort of obviously get I guess become more of a leader and that sort of thing?
Yeah, like it was quite refreshing yesterday. We spent half a day on a Zoom meeting with our head office, which is Paris. So we were discussing our purpose at Veolia. What's our purpose? And so we were talking about the UN goals, so the United Nations goals that they've put out is the same goals that Veolia's adopted as well. Okay. We have what we call a multifaceted performance approach now. So we're talking about environment, culture, society, and obviously shareholders that are a part of it. But we're really aiming to measure our metrics differently going forward for the long term. So it won't be around EBIT or profit or anything else. There's going to be a lot more social measures, environmental measures, everything around planet. So we want to be this. We really want to have an environmental transformation, and that's what our purpose is going to be. So I thought that was quite refreshing for me, because that's that's a new direction, and that's where that's probably put a bit more blood, put a bit more life for me after being here for so long. So that's something I'm going to really be getting into in the next few months.
So so that was like half a day, was it? Like that whole
half a day, yeah. So it was
Paris.
It would have been midnight over in Paris. It was obviously midday over here, and we also had some colleagues from Western Australia were on the line as well, and it was 8 a.m. in the morning or something in Perth, so it was quite interesting.
Yeah, so I guess when you get to your stage in this career, I mean, obviously one thing I noticed on Tuesday was that generally if someone comes into the organisation of Veolia, you've got this sort of ideology that the training is quite good, and they can just come in with not a lot of experience to do the roles that some of these guys are undertaking. So good training of it in that respect.
Yep.
Once you get to a leadership role, is there much that you sort of do an ongoing sort of training to upskill yourself and keep yourself on top of things?
We definitely try to. We sort of run maybe three programs within Veolia. So we have our leadership training, where we keep our professional and personal development up to speed, and those training courses may be delivered internally, but the majority are actually delivered externally. We also have a succession part where we have a training program called the Leaders of Tomorrow, so tomorrow's leaders, and then we have our frontline management training as well. So today's leaders, tomorrow's leaders, and frontline management. So that's really well embedded, and that's always new content. We've got sort of thought leadership programs and all those sorts of things coming out all the time, which I guess keeps you engaged. A lot of the training is now done on like a virtual learning and through through the internet and stuff.
Yeah. Do you sort of read a lot of books as well about different things, or how much time would you sort of spend a year sort of reading books and stuff like that?
I definitely take a lot of stuff away with me. I think in the last 18 months I probably have spent more sort of time or energy on financial reading and stuff. We did have a focus on making sure that we were tip top on finance. I mean, so I've spent a lot of time researching financial ways of doing the business and that. So that's I'm not an accountant, but I still have to be responsible for the bottom line as well.
Yeah, well, I suppose very important in when you get to a sort of leadership managerial type roles that you've got a good understanding of the financial metrics of different operational and strategic long-term decisions. So it's quite it's good. I guess any sort of final thoughts for guests on the podcast? I think this has been fairly enlightening. We learned quite a bit about you today, Jason. Certainly look forward to obviously I guess our time in the future with Rotary, and obviously your year as presidency is going to be great. So any sort of final thoughts? Anything you'd like to say about anything we've sort of discussed?
Oh no, this has been great. Yeah, I think I'm like I say, I'm looking forward to doing my year next year on the presidency. Really want to push a few projects. I really want to. We really need to get Rotary's name out there a lot more. I mean, Leanne's done an awesome job so far. The number of new members I think have been pretty astounding, and I think everyone would agree with that. I'm not sure, obviously, in past years how many new members or what have come through. But yeah, no, really looking forward to another year of Rotary. And I guess hoping that the borders actually do start to get open, and we can start getting some more blood back into town and get the tourists going. And
yeah, no, certainly. I'm looking forward to when the border does open. So we'll have to just wait and see and cross our fingers and hope it's sooner rather than later.
Exactly.
But thank you very much for your time on a Thursday morning here just out of Glenda Drive, Veolia. So thank you very much, Jason. I'll get this uploaded maybe later on this afternoon. And it'll be on possibly on YouTube and also Apple Podcasts. So I'll put it up on there. It's from right. That's been Jason Climo from Veolia, and also the incoming president-elect for the Rotary Club of Queenstown. This has been Tim Wilshire, and everyone have a great day. Thank you.